and welcome back to our TOEFL preparation series. Today I'd like to share with you the experience my students have had with the TOEFL test and give you some valuable tips and tricks to help you ace this exam. As you may know, I offer 30-minute consultations after our TOEFL course, in which I evaluate students' speaking and writing. I also conduct one-on-one TOEFL preparation sessions. These give me a comprehensive view of the full range of problems students face as they prepare for the exam. There are many students who have typical issues when it comes to TOEFL preparation that can be easily solved in just a few lessons. There are also those whose situations are unique, like the student I told you about in this video, who took his TOEFL test 20 times. So today, I decided to talk about both unique cases and typical problems the TOEFL test takers have when preparing for the test. Let's dive in. The first story. One of my students recently had an unusual experience on her test day. She got 2 listening tasks from the ETS free practice test. Imagine knowing all the correct answers to an entire lecture and conversation. For context, the TOEFL listening section now includes 2 conversations and 3 lectures, so this was a significant portion of the test. In my experience, TOEFL has never used practice questions from the ETS website in real tests, so if you haven't tried the free ETS practice test, I highly recommend checking it out. You can complete the reading, listening, and speaking sections with me in these 3 videos. Or you can take the test on your own, whichever works best for you. A quick tip for future TOEFL takers. The ETS has launched the TOEFL Test Ready platform, which offers several resources, including the free practice test I just mentioned. They also offer a free activity of the day, a section test sampler, and a section practice sampler. These resources are great for extra practice. I'm considering covering some of these tasks in future videos. Let me know if that would be helpful. Let's talk about another story and discuss some more TOEFL tips. One of my students needed to prepare for the TOEFL to get into a US master's program in finance. When he first came to me, he had taken the test several times and scored 79 out of 120 on his last attempt. He needed to score between 90 and 95 to get into the program. He struggled with every section of the test. But the reading, speaking, and writing sections were the most challenging. In reading, he had 2 major issues: a lack of academic vocabulary and difficulty applying question-type strategies. You need academic vocabulary to understand texts and lectures on topics such as radiocarbon dating, ancient pottery, and plant evolution, for example. You don't need to know every single word in passages and lectures, but words like occur, decline, terrestrial, escalate, and decade should definitely be part of your vocabulary. So, we started with these words. I use a platform where students can match words with their synonyms. This helps them learn new words quickly and effectively, which is crucial for the TOEFL test. Remember, you don't need to know the exact translation of each word in your native language. Just learn a simpler English synonym. For example, pivotal, crucial, essential, paramount, key, and vital all mean very important. In my student's case, after we reviewed academic vocabulary, his reading scores improved because he could better understand the passages and lectures. For those unfamiliar with academic vocabulary, it includes general words, non-general academic words, and technical terms. General words are often familiar to most students, even though they are used in academic contexts. You don't need to focus on them unless your level is very low. Non-general academic words come from the academic word list, which contains 570 words commonly found in academic texts. Some examples of such words are principle, variables, research, occur, legislation, transfer, primary, conduct, consent, core, pursue, and hypothesis. You can find some of these words in this video, where I discuss 157 words that appear frequently on the TOEFL test. If you've already watched the video, please let me know in the comments below which of these words you see most often on TOEFL reading and listening tests. My students usually cite emerge, decade, decline, prosperity, threat, decay, impact, and depletion as the most common ones. By the way, the next video will be about idiomatic vocabulary for the speaking section, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to make sure you don't miss it. Finally, technical words are specific to certain disciplines or fields of study. For example, in biology, you might need to know words such as photosynthesis, cells, ecosystem, habitat, species, and mutation. In astronomy, terms like constellation, asteroid, Milky Way, orbit, nebula, red giant, stellar wind, and lunar are common. These words, by the way, were the most challenging for my student. But since I usually create visuals and found explanations for each discipline, we mastered them pretty quickly. If you have trouble with this kind of vocabulary, check out the Ology website. It explains difficult concepts in a fun and easy to understand way. We also covered question types and did many reading tests together to really nail down the strategies under time pressure. We do something similar in our TOEFL prep course, so if you're preparing for the test, feel free to sign up. For those of you who feel you need to improve your language skills first, we offer 2 TOEFL prep bundles. One includes our TOEFL prep course and an intermediate to advanced course to help you refine your grammar and vocabulary. The other combines the TOEFL prep course with the advanced to proficiency course. I designed this course with TOEFL test takers in mind, so it's an excellent resource to boost your skills for the test. For example, in the course we'll have a lecture on advanced articles, which is the most common mistake on the TOEFL writing and speaking sections. Cover advanced grammar topics, such as inversion, analyze a typical essay, and review grammar mistakes many students make in the writing section. Study complex sentence structures and learn lots of synonyms for advanced vocabulary. You can view the course syllabus by clicking on the link below. We also offer personal TOEFL coaching if you need speaking and writing feedback. Back to my student. He also struggled with the speaking section. I won't go into all the strategies we use to improve his speaking score, but I'll share one example that shows how important it is to stay focused and think positively during your TOEFL prep. During our last lesson, we did a mock speaking test to review everything we'd learned. My student gave great answers and scored about 26. I usually grade all speaking attempts, and this time was no different. But instead of telling him he got a 26, I told him he would get a 23 on this attempt. I'll explain why in a moment. He was disappointed because he had worked hard and wanted a higher score, but he didn't say anything. When we got to the final practice reading test, he started making mistakes and couldn't concentrate on even simple questions. All the types of questions we'd mastered before now took longer for him to answer, and he made many mistakes. The problem was that he was still thinking about his speaking score. After a few questions, I stopped him and said, "Look, your speaking score isn't 23, it's actually 26. But because you were so focused on that failure, you ended up messing up the reading test. If you don't change your attitude, this could happen on test day." I've seen this happen to many students who are perfectionists. As soon as they think they've made a mistake, they lose focus and start dwelling on it. As a result, they score lower on the next section because they are distracted. Interestingly, the section they're most worried about often ends up being their highest score, while the following section suffers. My student understood the advice and ended up scoring 26 on both the speaking and writing tests, which was much higher than his previous score of 21 and more than he needed for college. I highly recommend practicing this mindset. Stay focused on the task at hand and learn to let go of any doubts or worries. Remember, your TOEFL score depends a lot on your mood and concentration on test day. Speaking of test day, if you're taking the home-based TOEFL, be sure to ask the proctor not to interrupt you during the test. I recently had a student who was asked several questions during her reading and listening sections, which disrupted her focus. Before the test begins, ask your proctor to double-check everything so that you won't be interrupted during the exam. Another way to reduce stress during the speaking test is to prepare in advance and automate your responses. During my consultations, I analyze students' answers and often see the same mistakes. For example, in questions 3 and 4, many students use short sentences to summarize the lecture, which causes them to run out of time before they can cover all the details. Aim for longer sentences instead. Practice using compound and complex sentences in your answers so that you can provide more detail in less time. Also, break down the most challenging questions into a few practice steps so that on test day you can approach them automatically without worry or panic. For example, for question 1, there are 3 key steps to producing an effective answer. First, you should start with an introductory statement. Then, give one reason, and then give a detailed example, illustrating your reason. You should drill each step independently and then combine them to get the best result. Recently, one of my students scored 28 out of 30 on his speaking test on the first try after we analyzed the full speaking test during the consultation. The last story I want to share with you today is about a student who really struggled with the writing section of the TOEFL. He took the test 7 times and still couldn't score above 24. His main problem was not knowing exactly what to write in the writing for an academic discussion section. He would stuff his posts with lots of advanced words, come up with 3 or even 4 reasons to support his opinion, and address the opinions of the 2 students in the prompt. Despite all this effort, he kept scoring 24 or lower on his writing attempts. There is one thing I want you to remember. Even though the writing for an academic discussion task may seem easy, it's usually this task that lowers students' score on the writing section, not the integrated essay. Here are a few key tips to help you get a higher score on this task. 1. You don't always have to respond to other students' opinions. Many people think they do, but they don't. 2. Avoid using the exact same reasons for your opinion as one of the students in the task. It's important to show original thinking. 3. Don't overload your post with advanced vocabulary. If your writing doesn't sound natural, you lose points. Think of it as writing an email to a colleague you're friends with. Keep the tone neutral, not too formal or informal. 4. Instead of giving 3 or 4 reasons, give 1 and explain it well. 5. Avoid jumping from one idea to another. The student I told you about often made this mistake. Instead, aim for a clear progression of ideas and structure your post well. I hope these tips help you feel more confident on the TOEFL test. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I have so many more stories to tell. And feel free to share your own TOEFL prep stories in the comments below. If you are currently preparing for the test and want to check how ready you are, click on the link below to get your writing and speaking scores. And remember, scoring 100+ on the TOEFL isn't rocket science. It's the little things you do that make all the difference. As always, I wish you all a stellar TOEFL score. Until next time.